This summer, you can look like this, or this, or this. There's a difference. First will make you feel shy, second will be okay but nothing special, just like every other year, but the third will make you feel confident instead of self-conscious. And guess what? You can get it without all these latest trendy meds and diets. In fact, you have to be really, really boring. That's the secret. So here's the boring way to get shredded this summer. Let's get into it. What does this guy, Adele, and this guy have in common? It's the fact that they only ate once or twice a day. In other words, they leverage some form of fasting in order to get lean. People end up doing it for a lifetime because they don't have to think about what to cook, they don't have to clean up as much, they don't have to think about what to eat. And this is why, if you look at Adele, she actually manages to stay lean even after she got lean. So let's say you want to get shredded this summer. One of the best ways you can lose fat continuously is by leveraging fasting. And the easiest way to remember this is just eat once or twice a day. Don't think in terms of 16-8, 15-9 and all these time windows. Just think to yourself, I'm gonna eat once a day for dinner or twice a day, lunch and dinner. That's it. Do those things. And especially if you're a big portion eater like me and you love food, this is going to be a game changer because by eating less times in a day, you can actually eat a little more each time you sit down and still stay in a calorie deficit, which is eventually what's going to make you lose fat. That leads us perfectly on to the next point, which is, yes, I have said it before and I'm going to say it again, is that you want to be in that 300 to 500 calorie deficit. This is the golden rule of fat loss that just cannot be ignored. Let's say you ignored the fasting thing and you said, I love eating 8 meals a day. Doesn't matter. If you eat 25 meals a day, one for every hour, you would still lose weight if you followed this rule. Stay in a bloody calorie deficit. Now, for the amount of people that say, oh, you know, Wanhee, you've said calorie deficit before. Let me ask you, what is your calorie maintenance? I've asked this to so many people right to their face. And the people that say a number is like 1 out of 20, literally 1 out of 20. Most of them will say, I think it's around 2000. That's exactly what you're doing right now. What is your calorie maintenance? You don't even know what that term means, most of you. So you got to go on Google, type in calorie maintenance, find out what it is depending on your height, your weight, your activity level, subtract 300 to 400, maybe even 500 from that number and make that your daily caloric goal. You follow this one rule enough times throughout this lead up to summer, you're gonna get shredded. Now, if I'm honest, you're just gonna get skinny if you don't follow the rules that are coming up, but at least you're actually gonna be losing fat. Unlike all these people that are thinking they're losing fat, they're pretending they're losing fat, they're going on runs and they stay bloody same, or they just keep going up and down and stay around the same weight the whole year, next year and the year after. So follow the calorie deficit rule and stay in that 300 to 500 sweet spot so you don't bounce back like everyone else. Next, I have the most boring diet on earth. Now, boring does not mean it's not delicious. I've loved food all my life, so I cannot have undelicious meals. They have to be delicious, but they gotta be boring. How is it boring? Well, let's look at the calorie deficit number that you got from the last point. Let's say you actually went and did the good work and found out that your calorie deficit number that you should aim at every day is around 2000 to 2100 calories. It probably is something like that for most guys watching this, and for women it'll be around 1500 to 1700. Let's say you had that number, 2000, 2100. What's very important is how you split that up during the day. What I do is I have a lunch that is around 700 to 1000 calories, and then I have a dinner that's around 1200 to 1500 calories. And I just make it super boring because I go to the same bloody restaurant all the time. This one place that does this one salad where I can add extra chicken. For dinner, I keep ordering the same things. It's either the steaks, it's the chicken breast, it's the eggs. It just keeps repeating itself. Now, I make it damn delicious by adding all kinds of delicious sauces like fish sauce, using Korean broth. If you want to know exactly how I do that, check out some of my other videos. But basically, you got to find a couple meals that you absolutely love that fit into that calorie rule and just repeat the hell out of it. When you change one thing, change a small thing. And from the outside, people are gonna be like, how are you gonna eat the same thing? It's super boring. Well, it's not boring getting a six pack. It's not boring looking damn good. And it's actually not boring because if you love the food, wouldn't you like to eat it on repeat? Now, it's not just one dish. You may have 2 or 3 that you repeat, but you get the idea. It's gotta be boring because when it's not boring, when it's fancy, when you got all this new stuff coming in, that's when you lose track of the calories, you lose track of the protein. You say, oh, this is delicious, and then your weight spikes back up. Whenever I've gotten shredded, not just lean, but shredded, I absolutely spam the same meals. Next, you gotta track your weight every single morning after you use the restroom. It still strikes me how many people don't actually measure their weight, and doing this alone is just gonna take 1 kilogram to 2 kilograms off your weight. There's a secret benefit to measuring weight that is not just about tracking your progress and feeling good if the weight goes down. The real thing you learn because you measure your weight every day is a certain sensibility to your weight and what makes it go up and down. First of all, you're gonna understand, I had this kind of day where I did these kinds of things, my weight's gone up. I did these kinds of things and ate these kinds of things, my weight went down. And the more times you repeat this cycle, you start to figure out trends. Even things like, my weight's gone up, but this is fake because I had too much salty food. I had ramen, so the calories are actually good, but I'm holding a lot of water right now. Oh, I'm a little sick, so I'm holding a lot of water. So despite the fact that I did everything well, my weight's staying a little high. I know I'm going in the right direction because this is what a calorie deficit feels like in my body. I've had the deficit so many times, seen the weight go down, so I know this is a deficit. And look, my weight's gone down, so I know everything's working. So you get confirmation. So all of these things that might sound like a bit gibberish to you, like if you've never done this, you might feel like, what is he even talking about? Why is he talking like that? But this is exactly the sensitivity that you must develop to get shredded. Your body almost knows when the weight is going down, when the weight's going up, without even stepping on the scale. I could almost tell just from the feeling inside of my body what kind of weight I am. It sounds crazy, and I go on the scale, and sometimes it's to the decimal that I get it right. You must measure your weight every morning, not just to know where the weight is going, but to develop this extra sensibility that's going to help you so much in staying calm in the long run, which is really what counts when you're trying to get shredded, not just lean, but shredded, because it's the mind games that are going to come at you when you're in that final stretch. The next thing is, of course, the walking. You know, I talk about walking a lot, but I want to break it down into how to actually get 10K steps so consistently and super easily. And what I've seen in so many clients of mine and myself is just 2 patterns. It's either 1 long walk or 2 walks, 1 short one and 1 kind of long one. A long walk usually is somewhere in the space of 1 hour to 90 minutes. When you do this, when you walk for about 90 minutes, about 100 minutes, you'll get 10,000 steps, just like that. When you walk about an hour, which is what I do just before dinner, this will get you about 6,000 steps, most people. 5,000 to 7,000 depending on your pace. But you go kind of slow, you go kind of chill, you think about different things, you listen to music, you watch your podcast, and an hour is gonna get you about 6,000 to 7,000 steps. And then your life, you go into a cafe, you go into work, you chasing your dog around, you flying around different neighborhoods, that's gonna give you another 2,000 to 3,000. So what do you have to do? You gotta nail a time in the day where you're gonna go for a walk. This is the single most important thing that I found in all my clients that get 10K steps ridiculously consistently. I'm talking months. And what they did, all of them, is they have a set time in the day where they walk. It's either after work, it's before dinner, it's after dinner, whatever it is, whatever works for you, do that and you'll be able to get to that number. Not 9,000, not 8,000, because remember, we're trying to get shredded. If you're trying to get shredded, you can't take all these little deals and little shortcuts with yourself. You hit 10 to 12K every single day, like clockwork, by using the framework I just shared. Boom, you're that much closer to getting absolutely shredded, which I'm not shredded right now, by the way, but I'm on the way there, and these are the exact things that I'm doing, and I'm sharing them with you live. And you can see me a couple months down the line, it's gonna look pretty lean. And look at me, I'm having a good time. It's not that hard. Next, there are times when you go to the gym, especially when you're in a calorie deficit, where you feel a little low energy, where you feel like, you know what, I could just finish the workout here. You know what, I'm just gonna do 1 set. You know what, I'm just gonna do 2 sets. You know what, rest is important. And you just take these little deals with yourself. And I found myself doing this, and I just said, you know what, this is not how I did it last time. This is not how I do it when I get shredded. So I get even more serious about my training consistency, about actually finishing my workout, actually pushing myself until I can't do it anymore. And this is going to be super important because it's not only going to help you look good, it's going to make sure that the calorie deficit doesn't lead to muscle loss, which would be one of the worst things. If you start losing muscle, then you're just going to get smaller, and it's all the hard work that you did to build up muscle is going to shit. If you don't have a lot of muscle right now already, then still you should focus a lot on lifting weights and getting stronger, because you're going to get the newbie gains and you're going to actually look absolutely different as your body goes through a recomposition phase where it builds muscle and loses fat at the same time. As I always say to everyone that I work with, it's like, if your weight's going up, you should be getting stronger in the gym. If your weight's staying the same, you should be getting stronger in the gym. If your weight's going down, you should be getting stronger in the gym, or at least trying, or at least maintaining. Red light starts flashing when your strength starts to go down in the gym. That's not what we want. Make sure you lift heavy weights 2 to 3 times a week, maybe up to 4 times a week if you're really like up for it. And if you want a system that's going to help you do this without you burning out, without you getting super hungry, so that you can build that V-taper aesthetic shredded physique for the summer, then you can check Aesthetic Body Blueprint below. It's the lazy system. You just train 3 hours a week and you look good like that. That said, let's get on to the next point. When I had a guy who sent me his food, he was doing everything correctly except the calories. So I said, you know what, man, let me actually look at the foods you're eating. And he sent me so many food pics. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, this looks so freaking delicious. I would love to eat this every single day. It was Chinese food. It was absolutely amazing. Let me tell you, I love Chinese food. But there was one glaring issue, which is that the ratio in that Tupperware, in that plate, was 50 to 80% carbs, about 10 to 20% meat, and then about 10 to 20% of something else. So the majority was carbohydrates, and then we had tiny bits of meat and veg. And if you're Asian, this is how we eat. This is how our cuisine is set up. We have carb as the main situation, and then we have meat as like a little side friend. That's not how it should be done, especially when you're getting shredded. You want a high protein diet, again, so that you don't lose muscle. So what do you got to do? You got to keep that protein super high, increase the ratio so that 50% plus of the plate is just protein, and then you actually want to reduce the carbs as much as you can. Maybe make the carbs 10%, 20%, 30%, as opposed to 50, 60, 70, which is where everything tends to go wrong. Because let's be honest, if you love carbs, if you like rice, pasta, and bread like me, the moment you have that bread, the moment you have that rice, what happens? You finish a whole truckload of it. So you gotta guard against that. You gotta guard against that dopamine loop starting as you eat the carbs. So change the ratio, increase the protein, lower the carbs. You just do that single thing. That's gonna help you stay in a calorie deficit, which is huge for getting shredded. It's one of the first changes I make when I go from maintenance or bulking to leaning down for summer. Next, don't let people and situations take you off track, especially when you're getting lean, and especially when you're getting shredded. There's going to be so many situations that can just deviate you from the plan, and that could be the difference between you being lean and shredded, you being average and lean, you being chubby and average. It's just little differences. You're doing all the right things, but every 2 weeks you get invited to a little thing where the friends are having a couple drinks, or your family's doing a little event, or it's somebody's birthday. As I always say, if you go and let all of these little events throw you off track even by a little bit, there's enough events in the year to never get your physique. If it's not a friend's birthday, it's somebody's wedding. If it's not somebody's wedding, then it's your anniversary. If it's not that, then it's a national holiday, then it's a public holiday. All of that is just gonna throw you off. So you gotta enter this zone, especially when you're trying to get lean, where you say, I'm locked in. I have my boring diet. I have this boring system that Wanhee talks about. 300 calories, repeat the same meal, eat once or twice. I walk, I train. It's super boring, but I'm in my zone. Don't let people throw you off. I got another guy who's absolutely just doing exactly what I said in this video. For the first time, his weight is starting to go down. And every week I meet him, I tell him, hey D, all you gotta do is just stay on the same path. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to start working out more. You don't have to sign up to a climbing club. You don't have to get too many workouts. You definitely don't have to change the routine. Keep everything the same, and just don't let other people and situations throw you off track. You're in the zone. Just run. Just stay in the zone. This is hugely important, especially for those that are trying to get super lean and shredded. Don't let it happen, not even once, because when you lose once, you can lose again. Next, stop freaking out when the weight spikes back up. Let me tell you right now, the weight's gonna spike back up. I've been through this process so many times, not just with myself, but with so many of my clients. And as their weight starts to go down, I always tell them before it happens, just relax. It's gonna come back. It's gonna check back. You're gonna stay there for a bit. Then it's gonna go up a bit. Then you're gonna go down, and then it's gonna steady, and then it's gonna spike up, and then it's gonna go down. This is how it works. This is how I've seen it in so many people. And the people that always go down like this and never check back, they disappear. Okay, they actually disappear for a month or two, and they come back and the spike is huge. So a natural weight loss process as you go down is your body adjusts. It does a little rebound where it says, whoa, hold up, and it checks back up, and you stay here for a bit. Your body gets adjusted to the new lifestyle, new way of eating, and then it starts to go down. So you start to see the new number again a little more often, checks back up, and it goes down. This is how weight loss works. Don't freak out when it spikes back up, because it will. And definitely don't freak out when it plateaus, because that's supposed to happen as your body adjusts to the new weight, and then you can go down again. The biggest mistake that people make is just like they hit the first plateau, they freak out, and they go extreme again. More workouts. The thing you said isn't working, so I got to do more runs, more workouts, more deficit. And then what happens? The weight does go down in the short term, boom, you bounce back. Take my word for this. I've literally seen it in hundreds of people. Don't freak out when it bounces back up. The ability to set boundaries, which we just talked about, and to not freak out when things go sideways. These are two of the most important meta skills that will determine whether you actually get lean, whether you actually get shredded, or whether you just kind of sort of get there with a 2-pack and bounce back every year. Next, the final thing is that when you chase something out of desperation, it doesn't usually happen. For most guys watching this, you've probably in your life at least once chased a girl that is out of your league. That you wanted, okay? And there was a desperation. You really wanted it, right? You really wanted her to like you. You really wanted her to text back. You really wanted her to like you in the club or whatever. And what happened? Most of the time, when you have that desperation, she's like, dude, get away from me. Life is like this. When you chase something with such needy desperation, it's like you form a relationship with that thing where that thing always is 2 steps ahead of you. Instead, what you gotta do is like when you have a house cat. Come here, come here, come here. She never comes. But if you just relax and say, I'm good. Even though I have a 4-pack only, I'm on the right way. I can get there next year. I can get there in 2 years. It doesn't matter because I'm at peace with my body and I'm grateful for the body that I have. I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna apply the tips that Wanhee said, but you know what? I'm not gonna hate my body. I accept it how it is. I'm grateful for this present moment and the body that I have. Once you do this, what happens? The cat comes and sits on your lap. The cat comes and starts cuddling you. The girl starts texting you back randomly. Your exes start texting you. What the hell is going on? It's a mystery of life. You probably know it yourself. So the same thing could be applied to fat loss. Don't chase this shredded state, this leanness, this 10% body fat, this DEXA scan with this toxic, stressful energy, because not only is it going to push that further away, even if you get there momentarily, you're going to lose it and you're going to contaminate the people around you in the process of getting there with your stress. Instead, go at it peacefully. Go at it as you would walking on a hike, looking at the beautiful scenery. Appreciate the fact that you get to lift weights at all. Appreciate the fact that your loved ones are healthy and that you're building a system and a strong body that can help you withstand other struggles in life. This kind of relaxed attitude is what's eventually going to get you from average to lean and from lean to shredded. That's it. Apply those tips. I hope this helped you. And if you like this and you want to do this process with me where we work on not just the training and the diet, but this mindset side of things as well, so you stay level-headed, calm, and consistent on your way to an aesthetic physique, then you can join my coaching program below. I'll leave a link for that as well. With that said, thank you. Subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you next week.